What's that? Well, that's later on in the class. Okay. See, most people have a warranty deed. And a warranty deed is called an abstract of title. I used to own 20% of a title company, and I didn't know this. The one I owned it. Yeah. Had a real estate company, 2 mortgage companies, a building supply company, 3 development companies, a construction company with 96 employees. I had a specialty building supply company at one time. I was doing pretty well. And I didn't know all this, so they took it away from me. Took everything away from me. Sure. Did you know all mortgages in the United States are fraud? Every one of them. Every one is fraud. Did you know your mortgage was paid off? Your mortgage was paid off the moment you signed the mortgage application and they accepted it. You know who paid it off? You did. See, you're not a debtor, you're a creditor, you just don't know. You don't know. They want you to think you're a debtor and that you're indebted to them.
Download the DS11 form off your computer.
Paid off that loan, and you don't know why, do you? Okay, I'm going to teach you guys why. I'm giving you, what I'm doing right here is it's called a tease. I'm teasing you with a lot of little things that we're going to cover later in depth. Okay? But I'm trying to wake you up right now. Wake you up to things you don't know. But you can go through this whole thing, and it's case law, Supreme case law, everything of why you don't need a driver's license to drive. Okay? Now, there are 3 cases where you do need a driver's license. When you're hauling passengers for hire. Are you an Uber driver, Lyft driver, a taxi driver, a bus driver? You need a driver's license. Are you hauling goods or services for interstate commerce? A truck driver, you need a driver's license. Are you a public servant in the performance of your public duties? A cop, a fireman, driving a fire truck, whatever. An ambulance driver, you need a driver's license. But if you're just getting up in the morning, leaving your house, going to the store, going to work, going to a movie, coming home, doing whatever it is you do, you're in your private business affairs. You don't need a driver's license. That's what about a title? You don't own your car. You don't own a car. No, you don't. You have a certificate of title. You don't own your car either. The state owns it. See, here's the thing. All right, let's tell you a little story. I happen to like Chevy crew cab, long bed, Duramax diesel trucks because I like farming and ranching. Okay? Yeah. If I walk into a Chevy dealership, it's called an automobile dealership, right? It's not called a motor vehicle dealership because it's not a motor vehicle when they sell it to you. It only becomes a motor vehicle when you title, license, and register it. Before that, it's an automobile. It's private. Who was our first car insurance company in the United States? It was called Travelers Insurance. It was designed for travelers. That's what we are. We're travelers. We travel from point A to point B in our private business affairs 99% of the time. Okay? You walk into an automobile dealership, if I laid out $75,000 cash for a brand new crew cab Duramax diesel pickup, you might be 80 by now. At that moment in time, I own that truck. But the minute the salesman looks at me and says, I need another $250 for title, license, and registration, please. And I give them another $250 instead of that stack of $75,000. That's the moment I gifted that pickup to the state. So what I do is I look at them and I say, no, that's not necessary. I'm going to export it to a foreign country. And then when I get in and I turn the key and I drive it off of their lot, I'm driving it out of the state of Oregon into Oregon. I just exported it into a foreign nation. Yeah, manufacturer's statement of origin is in that little envelope that comes with your truck. When you pay the $250, he removes that. He fills it out. He sends it to the state. He sent the state the title, and you get a certificate. A certificate means there's a title out there somewhere, but you don't have it. You don't have it. You don't own these cars. If you own your car, they can't do anything to you. Wait, by the time we're into this 3-day thing, you're going to be blown away. I'm telling you. Okay? See, the reason I talk so much about driving and automobiles is because that's usually the first place any one of us gets into trouble in our life. We get a ticket or something else. But it's usually associated with driving or operating a motor vehicle by a person, a citizen, or a resident. So what is the legal definition of the word citizen?
Be prepared to engage the enemy.
City is municipal. Zen is servant. A municipal servant. Isn't that what our public servants are? We're calling ourselves the same thing we're calling our public servants. We registered with the Department of Human Resources, with the HR department of the state of, by the way, where's the state of Utah located? 44 Northwest Congress Avenue, Washington, D.C. Okay? It's not even in Utah. Utah is a foreign nation to the state of Utah. What about the city of Riverton? That's a subsidiary of the county of Salt Lake County, which is the subsidiary to the state of Utah. They're all private for-profit entities. Bill Clinton revealed that to everybody. He sold off all of government. Everything is a private for-profit entity. Everything that wasn't already previously sold off, which was most of it to begin with. He sold off what was left. A private for-profit entity. It has a Dun & Bradstreet number. Anybody know what Dun & Bradstreet is? It's a credit reporting agency for corporations, right? So if they've got a Dun & Bradstreet number, that means they're a corporation, right? What does the Supreme Court say? It says that governments have chosen to incorporate, they must follow the same rules as any other corporation. Well, wait a minute. Can a guy wearing a Walmart shirt, a blue shirt, come into your house, kick your door down, and steal your kids? What would you do? Well, wait a minute. City of Riverton Police is a private for-profit entity, a corporation with the Dun & Bradstreet number. They're no different than Walmart. They operate through the consent of the government. They have to get your tacit agreement that you're a citizen, a person, or resident. What is the legal definition of the word person? An entity or a vessel? An entity or a vessel? What is the legal definition of the word resident? Someone there temporarily to do business. What's your zip code, Jody? By writing that on the letter to your grandmother, by writing your zip code on the letter to your grandmother, you just told the United States Postal Service, and what are our courts? Post offices. See, I already teased you with that, right? They're banks and post offices. So, by writing this on the letter to your grandmother, you just told the Postal Service, our court system, that you inhabit, that you live in Washington, D.C., and that you just reside in Riverton temporarily to do business.
The storm is closing in.
So there's 337 million people in the United States who live in Washington, D.C., and about 40,000 state nationals who live in the rest of the state. guys just move in temporarily to do business all around us. How do you feel about that? Huh? Huh? It's the truth. Huh? Why do you put brackets around the zip code? No, to remove it from the contract. It's called the boxing rule. In four corners. The four corners rule, the boxing rule. Brackets have four corners. 5 years ago, I was made an ambassador for the Voice of Youth program. Voice of Youth was part of the World Benefit Church. The World Benefit Church was put into place for one reason and one reason only. Not to have a congregation and preach the gospel, but to educate world leaders on God's laws, on what's right and what's wrong. It's the only reason they were put into place. The Voice of Youth program was put into place to be the voice of people who couldn't speak for themselves, our minors. What is the legal definition of the word minor? It's someone under the age of 18, right? We all know that part of it. Or, this part we don't know, someone of any age who hasn't claimed their minor estate. Have you claimed your minor estate? You're a minor. Have you? Have you? Did you even know you had a minor estate? What if I told you you were worth millions of dollars and you didn't even know it? And what if I could prove it to you? And that you have a trust fund, and you're all trust fund babies. And that trust fund is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And so when you signed that mortgage, they borrowed out of your trust fund and paid it off. And then you just keep paying it back. And paying it back. And paying it back. Why is that? 5 years ago, as ambassador of Voice of Youth, I gave a speech at The Hague. And I told our world leaders the story of a mother. And the story of a mother, I was told afterwards from just about everybody that this is the most important story that should be told every man, woman, and child on earth, but that they don't want me to tell it. You never tell me not to do something that's right, because then I'm going to tell it over and over and over again. Okay? A mother, 9 months pregnant, pay close attention to this, guys. I'm telling you, it's important for your life,
Keep an
your
eye on the
children's lives,
storm.
your grandchildren's lives for generations to come. But a mother, 9 months pregnant, walks into a foundling hospital. What is the legal definition of the word foundling? It's a safe place to abandon a child. Did you know all churches, all hospitals, all police stations, and all fire stations in the United States are designated as foundling by Congress? You can take a baby and put it in a basket and walk into any of those 4 locations and set that basket down on the floor and smile and wave and walk out without any consequences to yourself whatsoever. You can imagine that? You can abandon a child? But they designated those places as foundling hospitals. Did they tell you? On a brass plaque somewhere in an obscure location inside the hospital, probably under a stairwell, it says this hospital is a foundling hospital. Foundling hospital. So a mother, 9 months pregnant, walks into a foundling hospital. She goes through a major medical procedure called childbirth, where she's in pain and under duress. She's probably under the influence of painkillers of some kind. It'd be pretty tough to get rid of. Anyway, she has that beautiful baby, and all she's thinking about is getting home with it. But see, the baby, history, or not history, came out of the water, was tugged through the birth canal, was docked at the dock by the doctor, where a bill of lading was filled out for disease on the cargo, where its soul was taken. Its soul was taken. The placenta was taken. They took the baby's soul and they sent it out with a tug and is presumed dead and lost at sea until it should
Time to
return to
move.
claim its
The
minor
spell storm is
state.
closing.
No physician delivered the baby. Only a doctor does. A doctor is a doctor. The baby is a vessel. A ship. That's where the all caps name comes in. You look at the names of ships are in all capital letters. No one disclosed the terms and conditions of the contract. Yet you were handed a stack of papers to fill out, and you were only told, and this was right on the nurse's manual, this is just to register your baby with the state and to give it a name. And you fill out the paperwork, and you name your baby, and you sign as an informant. What is the legal definition of the word informant? Someone who gives someone else up to another, thereby giving the title and equity of your child to the state. This creates a doctrine called parens patriae. So she's right there. It's Latin for state as your parent. State as your parent. It creates a doctrine of parens patriae. With this doctrine, that's how they have control over you. And through your consent, the insurgents with pretty I'll see you doing that now. All right, I'll throw something at you. Anyway, the doctrine of parens patriae. So, no terms and
Head inwards.
conditions of the
The
sales
spell
contract
storm
were
is
given.
moving.
No full and honest disclosure of the contract. No two wedding signatures. No one there was securities licensed, insurance license. No prospectus was given. If you go to your stockbroker and you want to invest in a corporation, he is required by law to give you a prospectus, right? And you weren't given one. What I'm trying to teach you here is it was all done through fraud, without any full and honest disclosure of the contract. You were licensed, bonded, insured, your vessel was created, a sus to QB trust was created. A sus to QB trust is an individual trust underneath the umbrella of the public charitable trust. So the Public Charitable Trust Act of 1882 created the Public Charitable Trust. The Sesta QV Trust Act created the Sesta QV Trust, each individual trust that you all have through your birth certificate and registration. On your birth certificate, there's a bank name. It's on bond paper. There's a
Get moving, Breaker. The spell storm's coming.
CUSIP number. What is a CUSIP number? It's an investment control number that's regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission. If you were born between 1933 and 1975, you were bonded for $630,000 and insured for $1 million. If you were born
Time
after
to move. The spell storm's
1975,
closing.
you were bonded for $1 million and insured for $2 million. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's keep the initial investment. Well, you were a few days old, right? So like me, I was born on April 20th, on 4/20. So I knew there would be one in the crowd. And my vessel was created on 5/3. Two different dates, two different events. My vessel was born on May the 3rd. I was born on April 20th. For that period of time, I was a state national. In fact, I was in California. I was born in California. I was a state national. I was a free, independent, one-of-the and then I got registered, and I became a citizen, a person, and a resident. And I lost all my diplomatic allegiance. I lost it. I became a servant, a slave. See, the 13th Amendment of the Constitution treated black slaves, and the 14th Amendment of the Constitution made all of us slaves. See, there's a natural law that says that which one creates, one controls. God created me and he controlled me. Without any full and honest disclosure of the conditions of the contract,
Nice work,
no
Breaker.
one even
Seems
licensed
your
to
training
explain
has
it
served
available.
you
My mother awarded me to the state in a